Yes. Guys, it's January 18th, 2021, which means it's Martin Luther King Day. Send out my best wishes to all of y'all. Hope you're getting a day off. And if not, well, what the frick? That's messed up. I've had this video sitting on the queue for a long time, and I just feel like watching it. We're trying to diversify the channel a little bit with Norm Macdonald, but at the same time, I'm freaking obsessed with him. So I want to see what he has to say, man. He makes me laugh. It's good stuff. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the subscribes, the suggestions, the comments, the conversation. This is a lot of fun. All right. So without further ado, Norm Macdonald pooping, trying to swear less, on Hillary Clinton. Go, baby. Let's go, baby.
Is the First Lady a compulsive liar, though? It's beginning to look that way. In an interview on last night's 2020, intended to promote her new book, It Takes a Village, Mrs. Clinton folded under tough questioning by Barbara Walters and admitted that, in fact, it does not take a village, and furthermore, that she was aware that it does not take a village when she wrote the damn book. Meanwhile, President Clinton is hard at work on Tuesday's State of the Union address, in which he'll focus on crime, education, and the economy. At the request of the First Lady, part of the President's speech will be huge lies. More questions about Hillary Rodham Clinton's truthfulness. In an interview this week, the First Lady claimed that she won the women's 100-meter dash at the 1956 Olympics, and that she had an IQ of, quote, over 700. When it was pointed out to her that these were not especially good lies, Mrs. Clinton responded, "I know, I have a problem," and then added, "I invented the formula for 7-Up." In Whitewater news, federal regulators quizzed Hillary Clinton at the White House this week and gave her a perfect score on the lying section. She's a dirty liar. For years,
I can
Hillary
start seeing why you got
Clinton
fired.
has told people that she was named for the first man to climb Mount Everest, Sir Edmund Hillary. But as Esquire magazine recently pointed out, Sir Edmund did not climb Mount Everest until 1953, 6 years after Hillary was born. However, the First Lady does have a good explanation for the discrepancy. She loves to lie.
Dude, it's just over and over all this crap. She's like the original, what's his face? Alec Baldwin's wife. Like, didn't she say she's from like Spain, Spaniard or something? But all her friends are all of a sudden coming out saying like she's from Boston. We don't know what the frick she's talking about. So Hillary's like the original of that. See, what's interesting? I was a kid when all this was happening, and in Chile, so I don't know. This is awesome.
A former Arkansas banker told the Senate Whitewater Committee this week that he gave Bill Clinton a $20,000 loan as a favor, even though it was, quote, unacceptable banking practice. In response, President Clinton stated that he has no recollection of such a loan, while First Lady Hillary Clinton said, "We've never even been to Arkansas." Though more indictments are likely in the Whitewater investigation, President Clinton is still refusing to say whether he will pardon former Whitewater associates Jim and Susan McDougal. But when asked if he would pardon First Lady Hillary Clinton, the president was crystal clear, quote, "She does the crime, she does the time." The big thing was he forced him to do this. The big problem that Clinton has is this thing where he's going to pardon the McDougals.
He may or may not pardon them. Yeah, people don't know. The Whitewater people, we call them here at the show.
And he said today, he was on the Good Morning America show, Clinton, and he said that he says he may pardon the McDougals if they're, if they go to jail, he may pardon them. And then they asked him, they said, what about Hillary if she, if she is, because she's also a co-conspirator.
Yeah, if she gets sent away.
If she gets sent away, will he pardon her? And Clinton said, you do the time, you do the crime, you do the time, he said.
He screwed up the punchline.
That was so sweet, you moved into three-point range and up and at the last second foul. All right.
I don't know about politics.
You're not a big fan of Hillary's, are you?
Right. No, I don't like
Why
Hillary.
don't you like Hillary?
I don't like her anyway. Well, because I think she's the most corrupt person that we've ever had in the White House. I mean, there's so many terrible things that she's done that we forget. But there was one that, I don't know why this was swept under the rug, but, you know, she went into the IRS and looked at political enemies' tax returns.
Nixon did that.
Yeah, well, absolutely, Nixon did that. Yeah, it's a
But
she's a Nixonian
figure. You know that
figure.
Hillary did that?
Well, as much as I know anything, I mean, this was reported, and it was a thing for a very short time because the news cycles go so quickly, and maybe nowadays, Nixon, you know, Watergate would have just been a Friday night story that would have disappeared on Monday.
I think people don't vote on issues as much as they just vote on who they'd like this, that old saw about who you'd rather have a beer with, you know. And nobody wanted to have a beer with Hillary Clinton. You know. I think I had one joke about Donald Trump that I ever did, where I said that Americans hated Hillary Clinton so much that they voted for someone they hated more than Hillary Clinton to rub it in.
Here we see the president and the first bitch. Hey, slow down, you bitch. Let me catch up. Here we see President Clinton looking for something, anything, to hug besides his wife.
Oh, jeez. Looking for Monica Lewinsky, he is.
This week in South Africa, Winnie Mandela was removed from the new government by her husband, President Nelson Mandela. A curious Bill Clinton later called Mr. Mandela to find out how exactly you go about doing something like that. Gosh, Hillary looks pretty in this photo here, doesn't she? Never realized she was such a looker till I see her here in this picture. A frightening moment this week for First Lady Hillary Clinton. Her plane, en route to the former Soviet Union, was forced to make an emergency landing when it was discovered that a frayed wire in the engine was causing serious malfunctions. The president was said to be furious and demanded an immediate investigation of what went wrong with Operation Frayed Wire. Astronaut Shannon Lucid, back on Earth after a record 6 months in space, was welcomed home Tuesday with a phone call from President Clinton. Said the president, quote, "This is just the beginning. One day we'll be able to send an American into space indefinitely, and I hope it's a woman." Speaking in Australia this week about the problems of being America's first lady, Hillary Clinton joked, quote, "Perhaps I'll walk around with a bag over my head when I come out into public and have no opinions and never express them publicly or privately." To which the president replied, "Yes, yes, oh God, yes." As new
It's insane. Like, we've watched 7 minutes so far.
questions
Like,
arrive.
man, homeboy really didn't like Hillary Clinton. Hilarious. I had no idea all this like material was out there, especially for like that 2016 election. Not saying anything, I'm just saying. She was revered. I didn't know she was made fun of for so long, for such a long time. That even makes sense? Resume.
About Hillary Clinton's role in Whitewater, the president appears to be distancing himself from the First Lady. Earlier today in his weekly radio address, the president insisted, "Hey, I sleep with hundreds of girls. I can't vouch for all of them, you know?" In court documents made public this week, independent counsel Kenneth Starr told a federal judge that Hillary Clinton is now a, quote, central figure in the Whitewater criminal probe. Reacting to the news, President Clinton called the investigation a partisan witch hunt, vowing, quote, "If the First Lady is somehow convicted and has to go to jail, I will do everything in my power to wait 2 weeks to start dating." With growing indications that First Lady Hillary Clinton may be indicted for her role in Whitewater, President Clinton is reportedly starting to prepare for that possibility. Plans so far include renting a hall, hiring a band, and making a giant bathtub with margaritas. In a unanimous verdict this week, a Santa Monica jury found O.J. Simpson liable for the wrongful deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman, awarding the plaintiffs damages of $8.5 million. Reacting to the verdict, Simpson insisted that he has nowhere near that amount of money and that his only remaining asset is 30 pairs of Brunei Mali shoes. The announcement of the verdict came toward the end of President Clinton's annual State
Comment down below. Can y'all explain that one to me? No idea what the frick that meant. My knowledge of OJ, again, I didn't know how much of a thing that was, by the way, until I watched the OJ Simpson show. God, that was a good show. And yeah, my wife would tell me like it was all over the place. And I'm like, and like she remembers that as a kid. Yeah, I had no idea. Like,
the announcement of the verdict came toward the end of President Clinton's annual State of the Union address, and to many observers, completely overshadowed the event. Even the president was distracted during his speech, waiting to hear exactly how much it costs to kill your wife. Well, more O.J. Simpson news. On Friday, the Juice officially endorsed Bill Clinton for president, adding, quote, "I'd like to help him any way I can." To which the president replied, "Well, there is one thing."
That's good, man. Oh, dude, that's good. Just an update. My Norm Macdonald sweatshirt is coming. It's on the way. Pumped. All right, that was fun, man. Love you, Norm. If you're watching this, we love you, bro. And if you're watching me, watch him. I love you too. Much love.